off the curb, boy, cannon damage the street. Defeat leader, man in the heat. Reppin' the Northwest, better be banging this. Speak this language is deep. Something like Pitt's voice. Hit you with a coin flip as if you had a choice. Light you up like Las Vegas, road flare, scorching your gums. Uh-oh, trouble, can you hear the battle drums? Colt and Pitt the Ross, man, put it on doom. Colt and Pitt the Ross, man, put it on doom. Colt and Pitt the Ross, man, put it on doom. Grab a straight razor, ear to ear, then you consume. Colt and Pitt the Ross, man, put it on doom. Colt and Pitt the Ross, man, put it on doom.
His staff, while they was both being threatened,
Right.
he still out his gun.
Right.
But he said it was something. But the thing about it is, the fucking police and shit, the fucking sheriff's department, that's fucked up because, you know what I'm saying, ain't nobody, wasn't no cameras, I don't see no footage on there, nothing.
Right. I mean, all it is like, it's really just a fucking...
You already admitted.
Yeah, he said he did it. Yeah, he did. He did an interview.
You already admitted. Why would you pull the gun out on the cops? So I think that shit was a lie.
I think it was a lie too, bro. I think that like they went up in there and what they were doing is like, we're gonna have to take this motherfucker out because it could start some fucking political war bullshit between one lunatic faction versus another, you know what I mean? Because I don't give a fuck what you believe in. Like a lot of these, anybody who's too far on one side is nuts. Like if you're so fucking trumped out that you're showing up to a fucking protest with guns because you think it's gonna cause or it's gonna do some good, you're fucking nuts. If you're some fucking on the other side, the Black Lives Matter shit, and you're gonna run around and pack guns at one of those things, you're fucking nuts too. You know what I'm saying? Like, because all you're gonna do is set up a situation where somebody gets fucking killed, and that's it. You're not gonna do anything else. You're just gonna cause problems. So
that's all.
Yeah, but yeah, I think dude, it sounded fishy too. And why would he did an interview with Vice, bro? They were showing it on the news this morning. Like, you know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, that shit crazy.
Yeah, it is what it is, bro. I mean, the whole situation's whatever, but I'm just waiting and seeing what the fuck will end up happening. And I keep thinking that, dude, to be honest, like, I get this fucking weird feeling that Trump's gonna get reelected. Like, I legitly, I do. Like, it's
my homeboy said the same shit,
bro. It just, dude, I'm telling you, okay, like, it's just crazy to me that like he even got elected in the first place. I know we've elected some stupid fucking presidents, bro. I know there's been dumb people, and I know that it's like kind of weird how certain people get put into power and whatnot and all that shit. Okay, but like. Trump, like, he's been a running joke since the 80s. Like, you know what I mean? On all sides of the fucking game. You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, I know there's some backwards people out there, but really? And then, like, how he's going about shit, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he did get reelected for some fucking weird fucking reason. And then it's also super weird to me that the Democrats picked Biden. It just blows my mind. Why not pick some new blood, bro? Like, you know what I mean? I'm if you were to pick this would be the time to get a real black motherfucker in office if the Democrats had one and not Obama. You know what I mean? Like, fucking, or just like somebody different, bro. Somebody different. Like, I bet you if the Democrats would have picked some younger white dude who was kind of middle of the road Democrat, it would have made everybody fucking happy, and then he would get elected just on basis of that, because that's how this country is right now. You know what I'm saying? Sad but true.
More cannon damage the street, defeat leader, man in the heat. Reppin' the Northwest, better be banging this. Speak this language is deep. Something like Pitt's voice. Hit you with a coin flip as if you had a choice. Light you up like Las Vegas, road flare, scorching your gums. Uh-oh, trouble, can you hear the battle drums? Colt and Pitt the Ross, man, put it on doom. Colt and Pitt the Ross, man, put it on doom. Colt and Pitt the Ross, man, put it on doom. Grab a straight razor, ear to ear, then you consume. Colt and Pitt the Ross, man, put it on doom. Colt and Pitt the Ross, man, put it on doom.
What's good?
Rich, you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey.
Okay. Colt, you there?
Yeah, sir, I'm there. I had to come running.
Okay.
But we got this, bro.
All right, man. Yeah, we got this. Just getting ready to watch some of this little Lakers show. See, the Bucks just folded against Miami.
Ooh.
Man,
the Bucks ain't got a squad, bro. They too deep. Miami got a team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The thing is, Giannis, once you play against a team that play defense like Butler, that's why he left Philly. Everybody want to be the man. Butler like, no, we got to play as a team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he goes to a young Miami team.
Right. Oh yeah, we gotta let these people know who you are. This is my homeboy. This is Dog Pound from Northtown.
Ooh.
We just gonna get his opinion on some of these things that's going around in the world. You know how we get down up on this. We talk about any and everything, as long as it's controversial and has something to do with some reality, because Doom is reality, and reality ain't always good.
Right.
So, I have a question for you, dog. What do you think happened to the young man that was involved in a shooting last Saturday involving one of Trump's protesters? He came up missing.
He ain't come up missing.
Yeah, when they caught up.
He ain't come up missing. So, I'm going to tell you what my opinion is. So, when it happened, right, everybody first, so the group that he affiliated with, they already calling them terrorists.
Right.
But once young white dudes do this, they patriots. You understand what I'm saying? You see the difference between how the news use things? So if it's the black dude, he's a thug. But now that the white dude killed him, and he went Antifa, they call it Antifa terrorists. But do you ever hear them call militant white people terrorists? They call them patriots.
Most of the time, yeah. There's times when they do classify them domestic terrorism, but it's usually when they're on the very wrong side of the government, like they're extremely anti-government, like them people up in Idaho.
But so, all right, so the question you asked me, I think, because it was Trump supporters. And the first thing they say was Trump supporters was going out there to be peaceful. How you tell me somebody go from another state, motorized hundreds of people,
right,
and they shooting paintball, they spraying bear mace into the crowd from the truck. So how was that peaceful?
They definitely were not. That's for sure.
I think that would be an act of terrorism, some type of form of harassment.
Well, no, what it is that when you have a leader that divides the country, this is the United States of America.
Right.
But he always say blue state, red state. He ain't the president of red states. He the president of the United States. So
right.
He took the United States and divided it into red and blue states. He's dividing us.
Well, that's the only way he's going to be able to win. That's literally the only way he's going to be able to win, yeah.
But off of fear.
Right,
he's pushing fear. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being like, look, we need to come together. He like, oh, no. The blue state mayors, only thing they got to do is ask me to come in. So you mean to tell me you want to turn the military on United States citizens? Is this what you're telling me? You know, they always say we good with peaceful protests, but we know they not.
No, they're
Kaepernick
not.
took a knee. Kaepernick took a knee, didn't say nothing. Matter of fact, when it first started, because I'm a San Francisco fan, he sat on the equipment box. And after the game, the reporter asked another reporter, hey man, why Kaepernick was sitting on that box? So when they asked him, he told them. It was never about the flag. Trump made it about the flag.
Right.
It was about violence that police was doing towards black Americans.
Right, yep.
You know what I'm saying? It was never about the flag. Never. Trump made it about the flag.
Right.
And Kaepernick even came out and like, it's not about the police. It's not about the military. This is what it's about.
Yeah.
So instead of having this conversation, even though this conversation is, awkward, but we have to have the conversation.
But awkward is good.
You know,
awkward is good though, because if you get people out of their comfort zone, then shit starts happening. I'm gonna take it back just
exactly.
Right. I'm gonna take it back just real quick. We were watching, like, cause we watched the live feeds of the Portland protests mostly every night, right? And we were watching the Trump supporters roll through spraying the bear mace. I'm gonna tell you something that the police did differently that they don't normally do. When people are acting ass, which they do, cause like a lot of them, the protesters here, like they're not really protesters. They're just down there to burn shit and do whatever. Well, they immediately call it an unlawful assembly and can declare a riot. This whole time they were doing that, shooting those paintballs, fucking bear macing everybody, doing whatever. You know what they didn't do? They didn't call it a riot. They didn't call it a riot. No. They didn't call it an unlawful assembly. They let them roll through and do it. And those are acts of violence, right? You know? So
yeah, it is. I mean, they was spraying innocent people. They was going through Portland shooting people with paintballs. Come on, man.
Yeah.
But if I'm correct, I believe, like I say, I believe that, like you say, he's sponsoring these motherfuckers. They giving them space where they can go and train. And then they sending them out to do this damage, you know, like some John Wick, Jason Bourne motherfuckers. We don't know who they is, but...
Well, I'm going to tell you like this, Ted. It ain't Trump supporting them, but somebody's supporting them. If you go back to when the dude got his neck stepped on, and you watching this on TV, and you like, where's all these bricks coming from? They got pallets of bricks.
Yep, I seen them.
Just at random corners. Just at random corners. You like, who the fuck went to Home Depot?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you like, so this Donald Trump like, oh, they not throwing bricks. They throwing soup cans because bricks too hard to throw.
Jesus.
Hey, he said before the protest they buried soup cans.
Huh.
Come on, man. I'm like,
man, well,
we really living in this.
It's not more damage than a brick.
Hey, but the thing is, man, all right, look at it like this, kid. We 47, right? Yeah. From when we was kids to now. Have you ever seen the United States so divisive? So divided?
No, like this.
You know,
I bet you the closest you would get. I bet you the closest you would get to it being this divided would have been like Vietnam era. You know what I'm saying?
Vietnam. So, and I'm glad you said that because I just seen a cat on the news on Fox, like the protesters. He was talking about how the Black Panther was born.
Right.
How, you know what I'm saying? How they was talking about killing police and everything, and then all of a sudden they got glorified and started going to schools preaching and telling. But the thing is that if you look back to when Muhammad Ali was telling his truth, it's the exact same thing. I mean, you know, even if you go back to Rodney King, and it was supposed to be police reform, it's been 30 years since Rodney King, and the same things are happening. The exact same thing. So you tell me, you know, like I was talking to my boy today. He was like, "Well, Rich, you know, I'm like, you know what? It ain't about Democrats and Republicans. I'm like, the thing is they want to divide us. They don't care which party you vote for. They just want you to join the party,
right?
So they can control. You know what I'm saying? Pick a side. You know, once you pick a side, now, you know, everybody know they base. Fox know they base. CNN know they base. MSNBC know they base. So they gonna take pieces. You know, the mainstream media is flaming it. We can say it's Trump, but they flaming it.
Yeah, there's all.
That's just like excuse me. It's just like saying that it's not the system that's broken. It's working the way they want it to work because
that's like exactly true. It's not broke. This is how it's supposed to work. You know what I'm saying? you stay over here. You don't supposed to go over here. You know, and that's real talk, kid. You know, it's you know, when Obama got to be president, they like, well, racism gone. No, when Obama became president, you start finding out your closest friend is prejudice. Or your closest friend, you know what I'm saying? You like,
yeah.
Did you really just say that? You know what I'm saying? You
Man, that's funny.
Man.
There's the like back when this first kind of popped off and shit was really hitting the fan, and it started hitting close to home for everybody, just not like Minneapolis or larger cities and stuff. I'm from Billis, Montana, right? And like I see shit on the Facebook feeds and whatever, and I kept seeing this stuff where people are like, man, all of a sudden you figure out that your friends are fucking racist or whatever, and I'm thinking, but here, check this out though. Here I'm thinking to myself, like, the things that they're calling these people out on, me growing up as a kid, I remember these motherfuckers just being like this anyway, and it's always like acceptable all of a sudden until you decide you don't want to turn a fucking blind eye to it. That's kind of what's happening in a lot of cases. You know what I'm saying? There is also some of that shit though where it does kind of, somebody gets riled up the wrong way and then all of a sudden then it pops out. But I'm telling you, a lot of this shit was already just there, and people just they don't like to see it.
The thing is, it's like, you know, so just like when they say,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think somebody's flaming. I think somebody's, you know, flaming the fumes. You know, instead of trying to put the fire out, somebody's keeping this shit up, and it's coming from somewhere with the powers that be.
So
like
I'm gonna tell you exactly what's going on, Pitt. I'm gonna tell you. So to me, I don't think the COVID virus was meant to get out, but when it got out, they used it. I don't think, you know, just like with the dude getting his neck choked and died. That wasn't supposed to happen, but they're using it. So what they doing is they like, oh, we got an opportunity. Because what people don't know, what the UN is, it's a universal law that, you know, if just like how they say, well, we want to defund the police, right? So if a country can't protect themselves from the politicians, then the UN come in and take over. You know what I'm saying? And this you understand what I'm saying? So by people saying, oh, we need to defund the police, so you got to understand that these people getting paid on both sides.
Yeah.
On both sides. It ain't just, I mean, you people ain't just Black Lives Matter. It's from the white. And you know what I'm saying? It's these people coming together. You got to understand, when you see, like, when the white dude killed the black dude, they, you know, because black people can't do it themselves. We can't make a change. You know what I'm saying? But what you can see is that white privilege, when they say blue lives, it ain't no blue life. That's the color of a shirt.
Right. And it's a job you choose. It's a job you choose to do as well. It's not, you're not born a cop. You're more
paid by all of us, taxpayers' money. So you mean to tell us we paying these motherfuckers to assassinate them?
That's true. You know, and the thing is, man, you know, like my boy Brandon, like, well, you know you got good cops. I'm like, my cousin is sergeant of Metro Police in Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
So I talked to him about it.
He also played football.
He say, Rich, sometimes it ain't about race. Sometimes you see somebody and be like, next time I see you, I'm going to deal with you.
Right.
He told me this.
Oh, my. Yeah, people don't get it, though. That's the thing is, you know what my lady pointed out to me, Nicole pointed out that, like, some of this shit, though, that, and it blew my fucking mind, to be honest. There's some people in this country that really don't think that, like, this kind of thing exists. Like, people actually getting their ass kicked by the police. Or, like, there's still legitimately also people in this country that live in certain areas that they may or may not have seen a black person in their life.
That is true.
Isn't that crazy?
Absolutely true.
And I never thought about it, bro. I never even thought about it, bro. Because
I work for the racing company in Vegas, and these dudes love me. And I'm talking to my boy Ryan. I'm like, man, don't no black people live in Logandale. He like, actually, we had one black dude go to school with us, and we used to call him Spook, and he liked it. I'm like, he ain't like that shit.
No, he didn't.
It's the only black dude there.
Yeah, he ain't got nobody to have his back. Yeah, he didn't like it.
I'm like, man, if one more black dude came there, y'all would have problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I mean, like, the reason why I stayed so long, over 20 years with Las Vegas Paving, the boss that I first had, we played football against each other. And he was like, man, that was you? I was like, yeah. He was like, man. So we bonded over sport. And then we started talking politics. And my wife like, don't talk politics at work. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, man, I got to speak my truth, regardless. You know what I'm saying? And he, because he like, Rich, do you vote Democrat just because you black? And at the time, I was like, yeah. But now that I got older and understand, I'm like, now they got to earn our vote.
Yup.
Because if you look at it, we've been voting Democrat all these years. And look at our community. Ain't nothing changed.
Nope. You know, it's crazy to me, right? For the longest period of time, and I just learned this the other day, like JFK was kind of like the hero of the civil rights movement and all this and shit for a number of years, like, you know what I mean, like this through the 70s, late 60s, 70s, etc., because he supposedly passed his shit or whatever, or got it going. Well, when you really look into it, bro, like JFK didn't do a fucking thing but fuck everything up. It was Lyndon B. Johnson. Yeah, but you know what? A lot of people talk shit on Lyndon Johnson.
Lyndon B. Johnson did it?
Yeah, I know, I get it. Go ahead though.
No, do you know why he passed all them laws?
Well, he did it because he's a workhorse, for one. It was one of the things that I seen in it. And I know there's a lot more to it than that. But, like, I know there was problems in Alabama at the time.
Did that. Lyndon B. Johnson did it, so we'll be loyal to this party.
Right.
Of our lives.
No, and you're 100% correct, though. Check this out, because at the time, like, black people, they weren't like letting them vote in places like Alabama and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like there was governors who were like literally they had the National Guard out. Yeah, they had the National Guard out at fucking where you go vote, and fucking they were doing shit like that. You know what's funny is people don't realize that we're really not that far removed from those days.
Say it one more time, bro. I say that, and I'm like, the 60s wasn't that long ago.
No, they weren't. Bro, the Civil War wasn't that long ago. When you think about it in the term of history and how things work, the Civil War wasn't that long ago.
Wasn't that long ago?
No, it wasn't.
I'm like, if people be like, it is. Because do you understand that when we got freed as slaves, that's when the prisons became a market.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
it's actually true.
If you didn't have a job, if you couldn't read and write, you went to jail.
Right. You know what's funny? I should not. That's not funny, by the way. But I think I'm gonna come up with like a little thing when you're on, bro. And it's just gonna be like a button I push. It says facts, and then like, you know what I'm saying?
and the thing that made me laugh though is that when Trump was like, "Well, I'm gonna have my rally on June 19th," and the black chick for Fox was like, "You know what day that is, right?"
Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm gonna make it historic. But what made me laugh is
it's fucking Juneteenth.
Yeah. So not only did white people know about it, most black people didn't know about it.
Yeah, that did happen. That's another one. In that same interview, bro, he also said that he has done more for black people in America than Abraham Lincoln. That same interview.
So, when you go to Abraham Lincoln, right?
He didn't do shit neither.
He freed the slaves. But if you listen to his speech, he also say I don't want to do this. I have to do this to save the country.
Yep. People ignore all this.
You know what I'm saying? You know, with everything and anything that we listen to, you know, like I tell Pitt all the time, I'm like, man, we should go. I wish we could go back in time and kick our history teachers in the ass because they lied to us about history. You know what I'm saying?
That was his story.
I can only imagine because you guys went to school in like the 70s for real, right? Like going into the 80s and shit.
No, bro.
What? I'm just saying you had to have like late 70s, 80s, right? You're 47.
80s. When we start, you know, 70s, like early 80s.
Okay. So you guys were in fucking school, right? You guys were in school when I was born, because I'm born in '82. But the thing of it is you don't see that kind of stuff change from your period of time into mine. Like when you guys talk about what they've taught, and I've talked to Pitt about this shit before. It's the same thing, bro. Like they didn't stop, and I don't know how much they've changed it.
They lied. History was a lie.
Yes,
it was.
They told us ended up being a lie. Everything. You know,
even
when the internet came,
down to Reaganomics. Even down to Reaganomics,
don't even start Reaganomics, because you was born in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
So Nancy Reagan just say no, right?
Right. That fucked everything up.
The war on drugs, but you too young. You don't remember Oliver North. So the CIA to fund this war. Now they making movies about it.
Right. I know.
They start pushing cocaine. But to push cocaine, they destroyed the black family.
Right.
You understand? And then, like we were talking about Lyndon B. Johnson, right?
Right.
So once they got welfare, we give you welfare, but the father can't be in the house.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then eventually they moved on to where like they couldn't quite do it that way. So when they set up the system for like
it's still that way.
Well, it is, but here's the deal. Here, I'm gonna show you this part of it as well, because it's like this affects a lot of people I know that aren't black as well as people that are black, right? But if you're a felon, you can't be in any of the housing. You know what I'm saying? Well, they set up the system so all these people are fucking felons. So like that's where they get you on that one too, and it doesn't really matter. So, I mean, they really do.
And then another weapon they used against us. Go ahead, shit.
Hold on. I gotta say this, because the whole design of it is like, it goes back to you said they destroy black families. Now, if we can't, as men, if we can't work in corporate America and get a job and get a good education and make the same amount of money as the next man, regardless if he was Jewish or if he was just, whatever, in corporate America, what we resorted to selling the dope they supplied for us,
right?
Or we was robbing and stealing, and we got put in the pen. And what did our women have to look forward to?
Being treated like shit.
Food stamps. And
so just think about
different men in their life, different babies,
right.
Child,
Right, and then they fall into the same shit too, though.
And then, so Republicans, they like, well, we think, this America, you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps. But I'm gonna tell you, so after the Civil War, 40 acres and a mule. So when people say, okay, they never gave us that. They did. They set up a bank for black people. But the only people who can get loans was white people.
Oh, yep.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yep.
They did. They set it up for black people. And we put our money in here. But when we want to go get a loan to go get more crops, get more land, we get denied. You understand what I'm saying? But this is the bank they set up. But, so, now, as everything is good.
Hold on, before you continue, dog. I want to throw this in before we get lost, because that's set up for however Trump calls them, immigrants or whatever, but it was illegal immigrants that was able to come down here and get a bank loan. If you was Mexican, they was able to come down here and start businesses and go get that bank loan.
No, not. Hold on, not Mexicans, but people from Iraq, Iran.
Yeah.
When their country got turned over, when they took over the leaders of the Middle East, soon as they touched down, you remember, oh, my name's Fred, why are you walking? You remember all them car dealerships was Iranian. So soon as they touched down in America, they was able for a $10 million loan.
Yep, that's true.
You understand what I'm saying? So when we bombed Hiroshima, hold on, Pitt. When we bombed Hiroshima, Japan got paid.
Yeah.
Everybody got reparations, but we got reparations.
Just couldn't use it.
We paid for our reparations and never got it.
Yeah.
They took it. You know what I'm saying? If you understand what they did, you know, even with the Bible, even with everything that goes on, you just got to step back and look. You know, it's you know, you teach your kids, you know, like when my kids was little, I'm like, no, you ain't gonna believe in Santa Claus. You're not gonna believe in fairy tales because this world is real.
Yep.
I can't have you dealing with false things when you step out this door. I know what's gonna happen.
Right. How
You know what
Santa
I'm
Claus
saying?
gonna come down and give me and motherfucking...
And we live in an apartment.
Magic. Magic.
That's
Hey, so I had to tell my kids, I'm like, listen, you know, me and your mom work hard. This is why you get this. You don't work hard for a fictitious person. You work hard because this is what you do. Life is not going to play with you. I promise you that.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And I had girls. So it's twice as hard for them.
Right.
So I had to show them, you know, and yeah, the stereotype was real with me. I was young. I was learning on the job. But I had a family. You know what I'm saying? My family was strong in religion and everything, you know. So I had to learn. But, you know, now that we older, I understand life. Don't nobody understand life.
Right.
I get more understanding every day, you know, by faith and everything. But God really showed you what's real and what's not. You know what I'm saying? Because you can look at something and be like, you know, the first thing they do when black people get killed by the police is bring up their criminal record.
Yeah, they're quick to do that.
The first thing they do, man. And
you know what
they don't bring up.
You know what they call
Go ahead,
that?
brother.
You know what they call that, bro? They do the same shit with rapes and shit. It's called victim shaming. Like they try to make the victim out to be the bad guy by like using different words and stuff. Exactly. They do it in court a lot, but it's like, yeah, it's.
Tell me this is a death sentence. You know, tell me that this dude spending fake money is a death sentence.
Yeah.
You know, man, did y'all see that the prosecutors went to the dude that they thought stayed in Tamir's house and was like, if you say she your co-defendant, we'll give you a deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they went and lied to the judge to get this warrant and was like, oh, the post office say they was sending mysterious packages to our house. And then the post general like, no, we didn't. So they got the warrant off a lie.
Yeah.
They killed this girl. You know what I'm saying? They killed this girl And then they put her boyfriend. They put her boyfriend in jail because no knock warrant. If you breaking into my house, I'ma shoot.
Yep. You know what they do?
So,
go ahead.
Go ahead, bro.
No, I just think it made me think of something, bro. Like in Montana, right? One of the things they used to do to bust like dope dealers or just to go up in somebody's house is they would call a game warden. Because obviously hunting's more prevalent in that area, right? But this could work anywhere. Because, right, I'm going to tell you this. Game wardens have more power than even, like, the FBI and shit in certain ways. Like, they literally can just go in your house off a tip that you have, a legally killed carcass, right? They have a right. They don't need an actual warrant. And so they would do, yeah, for real. They used to do this shit. And so they go up in your house, they snoop around to see if there's a carcass. I'm doing air quotes. Nobody can fucking see me. But they do it to see if there's like a legally killed game, right? And then when they fucking look around the house and they see like some dope or some, back when weed was totally illegal, a bong or something, then they call their police buddies and it's a free ticket in the door. And that's how they would get into dope houses a lot of times.
But they're kind of like what the jurisdiction a Texas Ranger would have.
Pretty much, yeah, but probably a little bit more so, bro. More than that.
But Texas Rangers are, well, you know, they have free reign.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you know.
I guess I don't really know much about Texas Rangers, so I don't want to touch that. But I just know that the game wardens have a lot. Yeah.
And I didn't even know that, man.
That's a trip, bro.
It's just so you can, like, to me, like how people call the police on false pretenses, you know, I'm like, how they don't get charged?
They should be held accountable every fucking time.
For real.
Yep, it should be. For real. You know, I don't give a fuck.
The thing is,
hit them in their pocket.
When you witness the atmosphere right now, if somebody, you know, call the police and say it's a black male,
they'll probably be there quicker.
You gotta realize, you know, two things gonna happen. They not gonna check his side, and if it escalates, they gonna kill him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, like I was telling Brandon, I'm like, you don't have to have these conversations with your kids to how to talk to the police and how to act in certain situations. I'm like, you don't. I watched the video, man. This white dude called the police all kind of pigs and everything. Got a gun.
Yeah, he told him.
And they talking to him. And they talking to him. I'm like, if that was, I mean, if anybody want to know the difference how the press and everybody treat us, look how the New York Times wrote up Trayvon Martin and then wrote up the dude that killed 3 people in that protest.
Right, I know. That's pretty fucking ridiculous. And you know what? Like, here's the kicker with that thing that, you know, Trump even said, like, oh, it was like a self-defense situation. All right, you're going to tell me this fucking idiot kid went to that protest with his fucking AR-15 wearing latex gloves. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't wearing something different because it was a weather situation or anything like that. He was wearing latex gloves so he didn't leave no fingerprints or whatever his little fucking dumbass was thinking. Like, the whole situation, he was thinking. He was, yeah, well, what I'm saying is he was going there to fucking kill people, right? But, like, they're trying to make it out like and they're trying to make it out like he was fucking some terrible person or some great, like, you know, like, he didn't go there with the intent. It was like some idiot tried to fight him, so he accidentally shot him. And then they went ahead and they fucking spun it on that kid who tried to hit him with the skateboard to get the gun away from him that he killed. And they later on, there's these videos coming out of him supposedly punching a girl, right? And it's like,
what I tell you, Fitz, that's the day.
Right. But who gives a fuck if this? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's wrong. Okay, it's wrong. You shouldn't run up and punch a girl. Okay, for real. But like at the same time, that's not the issue right here. They're trying to deflect.
That is not.
And they're trying to do what? What is the word we're learning today? They're victim shaming is what they're doing. They're trying to flip it around and make
exactly.
You know,
and like you said earlier. I mean, just like with him. They like, oh, he wants to be a police officer. He wants to ride with the police. This is the visual they giving us of him.
And that makes him great? That makes him good? It doesn't. Nobody trusts the cops.
But the thing is they trying to pay him as a patriot.
Yeah, I know. It's sad.
You know, and that's crazy to me, man. That is. I mean, it's crazy.
And even on the video, the fucking crazy thing about it is like, okay, you just killed 3 black people.
Not 3 black people. 1 black person and 2 white people.
Yep.
And he blew the arm off of one motherfucker.
Oh, that was
right past the police and everything, and they said, "What?"
And it looked like he was trying to turn himself in.
It did kind of, didn't it?
It looked like he was trying to turn himself in. That's what's so funny. It looked like he was trying to turn himself in. He kept running to the police, and they kept passing him.
Yeah.
All they said is, "Where the shots come from?" He said, "Down there."
Yeah.
He said, "Get on the sidewalk." All of them took off. Come on, man.
Yep.
He running down the street with
house to Illinois. When they ate him a sandwich or whatever.
The thing is, his mom drove him.
His mom drove him? I didn't know that.
See, that's new. See?
I didn't know that.
No, his mom drove him down there. So, they've been teaching him this. Racism ain't born. You talk. You know what I'm saying? You can see kids play with each other, man. They don't know black from white.
Nope.
They just see kids. They see kids, man. You know what I'm saying?
Nope, it's definitely taught. That's for sure.
When it's taught, it's not born in you. It's taught.
You know, you'd be like a little kid playing with your little white friend, and he's like, "Hey, Lamont, come on over here, boy. Come on, Daddy. I don't want you hanging around little Bobby no more, because his daddy tripping. I heard he said something. You might have to hit this motherfucker in the mouth." You know what I'm saying? That shit is so true. It's sad, though, man.
It is.
For it to be
because, you know, I tell my kids, man, you treat people accordingly, because you got bad people in every race, but you also have good people in every race. So you treat people accordingly.
Yes.
You treat people exactly how they treat you. You know what I'm saying? You don't go in this situation predetermined. And I'm telling my kids this, right? And I meet this dude I work with named Joe Rainey, right? I'm like, this motherfucker president. Come up being one of the best friends I ever had in my life, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, shit.
For real, because I'm looking at him and how he acting. I'm like, this motherfucker. Me and Joe started talking, man.
Dog, I would like for you to tell Colt a story about one of your co-workers who's Indian, and how he ended up getting married to and accepting a Mormon religion, and you had to school him on some shit.
I'm interested in this.
Hey, man, this is fucking funny. You gotta hear it.
The disclaimer is, man, this one of the closest friends I got. You know what I'm saying? For real. But you're Mormon, right? So, you know, like I told you, I work for Las Vegas Pay, Mormon. And so he like, hey man, this is our first interaction, right? He like, hey man, cause I'm telling him, I'm like, man, some vinegar wings at Winco, man, they go. I'm like, I love them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So he comes to me and was like, hey man, if you come to my church, I give you some wings. I'm like, what? I'm like, if this ain't the president shit I've heard about. Hey, no, that wasn't our first interaction, right? Our first interaction was, he was like, yeah, man, I watch Blackfish. I'm like, what? I'm like, Blackfish? He's like, yeah, man. He trying to say Black It.
Oh my God.
This shit is hilarious.
So, bro, you know, see, Durant know me. I mean, Pitt know me, you know what I'm saying? So, he know I'm gonna be like, oh, it's joke time. I'm finna talk about it real fast. I'm like, man, you sure you want to meet a black person like that? Watch the Blackfish? He was like, come on, man, don't do me like that. So, man, we had debate. I mean, me and this dude, we talk about religion, sports, politics, you know what I'm saying? That's what I do, man. I try to stay up on everything so I can have conversation with anybody.
Right.
So he like, you know, Rich, he like, you know, the Mormon religion, you know, he like, when Christopher Columbus first came over here, I'm like, huh? He's like, yeah. He brought the Book of Mormon. I'm like, for one, Christopher Columbus ain't never touched North America.
Right.
He like, huh? And I'm like, and you know, this dude was like a big ass murderer. He annihilated a whole race and then started the sex slave. He's like, huh? I'm like, man, if that's y'all religion, I'm cool.
Right. Well, then they fucking, the Mormons, like, didn't, like, that one dude, he, like, read the shit out of a hat. Like, he put a hat in his, and, like, put his head in a hat and then started reading it, like, just making up shit as somebody, like, wrote it down as the word of God.
All right, so this what Mormons believe, right?
All right, I'm ready.
So, after Jesus got crucified, his spirit came to North America. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
And when it came to North America, when Christopher Columbus, because of God, came to North America, he brought they command, the Mormon command. You know what I'm saying? So, Eli, or, you know, it's they books start just like the Bible. But I'm like, bruh, it's all false.
Yeah.
Like, man, people, he like, as long as you have the Spirit, the Holy Ghost to guide you, he like, he'll tell you the truth. I'm like, man, you know, I'm gonna tell you, my whole family is ordained. You know what I'm saying? My Uncle Draine studied every religion. And me and him talked about it. We learned, but the one thing I don't do is knock down nobody's religion. But
yeah,
when you come and tell me Christopher Columbus is the reason this is our religion, I don't know about that.
And this dude's native, right? Didn't you say this dude was native? And he's like,
no, he's not. The thing is he's not negative.
No, native, like Native American.
Yeah, Native American.
And he's about Christopher Columbus and shit. That is.
I'm like, hey, man.
That's about as ass backwards I've ever heard anything.
Right. So I'm like, so you know, Mormons don't believe we can make it to heaven. So 3 years ago, Mormons came out. Oh, black people and Indians can go to heaven.
Like they decide. And we decided puppies can go too.
Okay, we got together. We decided. God said y'all can go to heaven now, right? But I'm gonna have a Bible study, and I tell my uncle that. He's like, "Oh yeah, who gonna start paying milk and eggs?"
Oh man.
Oh wow.
You know, it's funny, but to me, it's like, you know, how we know we have the right religion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. How do we know?
I don't think anybody knows.
The right God. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you something my Uncle Aaron told me. He was like, Rich, you know, I don't know if it's a God. He's like, but I'm going to pray and I'm going to do everything I'm supposed to do because I don't want to die and go to heaven and be like, oh, it really is a God. You know what I'm saying?
My bad.
You know,
yeah, whoop.
Right, you done did all this bad stuff. Like, oh, man, I ain't know you was here. You know what I'm saying? You remember that old sneaker commercial when the dude was at the gate of heaven and he was like, oh, it's these tears. You wearing double skirt. You saw that, didn't you? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, we only thing we can do is live by faith. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, you know, our religion was took, our name, everything was took from us. So we really don't know.
Right.
Only thing we can do is go try to find, well, what's the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we got to know that if all this started in the Middle East, that the apostles' name was John and Matthew. You know what I'm saying?
That doesn't make much sense, does it? Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a hard call, bro, because, like, if you think about it, like, there could be some shit like that. I mean, just look at, like say, for example, Latin. Like, you can trace most languages back to, like, Latin root words. So, like, names are kind of similar, like, throughout history. Like,
but when did the word J come into... It's still not... So, we translating from Hebrew.
Well, I get
they
that.
Still don't have a J in they, so it could never been a Jesus.
Yeah, it would have been Jesus.
Still
I don't
not
know.
a J
Kanye.
in their language. What'd you say, Kanye?
Jesus? I'm just
Somebody
joking.
tried to say it was Jesus.
Oh man, but yeah, I don't know, bro.
It's Yahweh.
Well, yeah, I know that.
Yahweh.
Yeah, yep. And you're not
You know
even
what I'm
supposed to.
saying?
And you're not supposed to say it technically. Like that's like kind of the deal. Isn't that the one
Well,
that?
you do. So I'm asking you a question.
Okay.
If you're supposed to have a relationship with anybody, right?
You have to say
Don't
their
you supposed
name.
to know their name?
Right. Yep. No, I know, but that was.
You know,
I was.
if you like just like you and Pitt friends, right?
Right.
So y'all friends. So what you gonna call them? Hey, guy.
Right.
No, you're gonna be like, hey man, what's your name?
No,
have
of course.
a relationship.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? For anybody to have a relationship with God, we gotta know their name. And another thing is that I can't tell no man their relationship with God.
No,
That's
you can't.
their relationship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's their relationship. I can't say, no, man, you wrong. No, how do I know you wrong? You have your relationship with God.
Right.
Just like I have my relationship with God.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can't never tell nobody, you know, oh man, you wrong. How do we know?
Yeah.
We don't know how deep he go with his relationship with God.
Yeah.
We just know where we go with our relationship.
Right.
To
Hey.
have a relationship with anybody, you need to know their name.
Yeah. No, you do. You're
don't say
100%
you don't
right.
supposed to say it. You're supposed to know it because how can you speak to someone without knowing their name?
Right. Exactly.
Right. That's
You know what I'm
Matt say. Numbers didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna end that on that note because that worked out well. But I gotta wrap it up because I gotta get going and shit. And I don't know. It was nice having you on, for sure. We'll have to set up another time to do this, bro, for real. And then
Welcome back, man.
Man, that was dope to have this conversation.
yeah, it was good, dude. Like he's been like Rich, and so I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. And then we were gonna do it last night, but like legit, like right when I finally got a hold to him or whatever, and we were gonna do it, then my lady's getting off work, you know what I'm saying, and we don't have much time together.
Yeah,
So
he was telling me that, man.
yeah. So it wasn't like
I
a
appreciate you doing a podcast like this.
bro. We're just
Go hop off the curb, boy, and cannon damage the street. Defeat leader, man in the heat, reppin' the Northwest, better be banging this speak. This language is deep, something like Pitt's voice. Hit you with a coin flip as if you had a choice. Light you up like Las Vegas, road flares, scorching your gums. Uh-oh, trouble, can you hear the battle drums? Colt and Pitt the Ross, man, put it on doom. Colt and Pitt the Ross, man, put it on doom. Colt and Pitt the Ross, man, put it on doom. Grab a straight razor, ear to ear, then you consume. Colt and Pitt the Ross, man, put it on doom. Colt and Pitt the Ross, man, put it on doom. Colt and Pitt the Ross, man, put it on doom.